Okay, so, man, where to begin, right? Luna? Oh, man. So, this, a pretty quick one, pretty quick update. I had a really good, last couple of days. So I have a group that I belong to, that it is it's a group with a lot of creative people in it, and it led to a really good moment where I was able to volunteer to kind of speak forward about the question was, and it was an interesting prompt that really led to some good thinking, and I was very happy about it. It's an extremely good coaching session led by Mark Schuff. If you have the chance to get involved with one of Mark Schuff's groups, I highly recommend it. It was completely worth it, and it has been, and I cannot wait to see what else is going to happen down the road. So there was one where I had volunteered for a specific exercise, and it gave me the opportunity to speak out on myself as a platform and really dive into the idea that, so the question was positioned that you have everything you want now, right? So there's a lot of things in life that we'll often go through, and hold on, I kind of need some movement in the background, just so we have it. All right, that's better. So one of the things that I noticed was the fact that whenever I start to thinking about things I have, right? All sorts of things that I own currently or that I have that can't be measured in a physical aspect, whether that's my skill set, whether that's opportunities, whether that's time. I am somebody that does not necessarily take the time to step back and reflect on it as much as I should. And I do that to a certain point. I do practice mindfulness. I do try to do everything I can to bring about that aspect and do something good with it. But this one was one where you take a question and you continually will ask it. And this one was, okay, you have that, now what do you want? You have that, now what do you want? And it led to some really damn deep thinking. The thing is that I think for myself, in fact, I know that I would have been one of those angles would have definitely been, well, I don't know. Well, if you don't allow I don't know to enter as a variable, you end up with a circumstance where you really have to ask what you have in life. And it ended for me where I was saying I just wanted to do something and know that I mattered. And this was after initially saying, well, I would like to, it's all these almost seemingly extraneous things of like, I'd like a career, I want money, I want maybe a little bit of fame, I want followers, whatever the case is, right? And that's fine. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But the next step of it then after that, I was like, okay, we have a magic wand, what do you have? And so I was like, oh, hell. And it's, at some point I started getting really kind of emotional because it's really digging down. It's like, well, I'd like respect from my parents. I would like respect from colleagues. I would like to be able to show up people, and people that didn't believe in me in my previous jobs or whatever. And like all these memories start rolling back to me, like when I had fought really hard when YouTube first started to say, hey, look, I have a YouTube channel and I think that's going to be the future. And nobody believed me that any pre-recorded website or any pre-recorded videos on websites were really going to lead to anything. There would be no way to get any kind of marketing or anything from it. That's just one small example of a multitude of things over the years of my career that really messed me up so much that I wasn't capable of allowing myself to breathe and to grow beyond what was left behind. So it almost seemed like a vindictive angle to come back at it and go, I want to be able to show these people up. And they said, okay, let's allow that aspect, and kind of move forward. And it was so freaking overwhelming that I'm forgetting a lot of this. I think I got asked it 2 or 3 more times. It was maybe the third time I said that I just really wanted to be, I really want to believe that I mattered. So then I did some looking into that. Here's the really freaking weird part about it. If there is such a thing as a perfect answer to it, the answer would be nothing. It would be, I need nothing more in my life. And sure, I need food, you know, new clothing, refills for my printer. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. It was saying, essentially, or I was saying in that regard when I really got to thinking about it, that I didn't need anything. I don't want anything else. That would be a falsehood and a truth at the same time. A falsehood in that I feel that, of course, I want more. I would love to earn more money. I would love to be able to have more, you know, recognition or sell books or do other things in even greater capacity. I would love to be able to take the time to travel. I would love to be able to be more in control of my schedule and get out of my own way, which is one of the other monster things I really realized. And so that was its own thing, which thankfully went really well. And I had some people reach out in the Discord and message and stuff, and they were really happy that I took that step. And then and I felt really good. I was like on freaking cloud 9. Now the crazy part was I had a therapy session earlier that day scheduled, and I did not end up doing it because I know it was going to be an emotional roller coaster. So then the next thing I ended up doing was I ended up going and doing this whole thing for it was over at Inglewood Arts, and I was invited by a lady who does Art Speak Radio on KKFI. She invited me out to speak about artificial intelligence. I did not get a chance to stream it or record it or anything, and I'm kind of glad, because although I think I did a really good job and everyone seemed to have enjoyed it, it was supposed to only be for an hour and a half. I'm going to tell you guys something here, okay? Can't tell anyone else. I'm just going to leave it between you and me right here like this. I had this whole outline planned. I have it somewhere here. It was multiple pages. And I'm not good at outlines. I'm just not, right? A lot of times, so I carry around like a little 3x5 index, right? And I'm kind of nerdy like this. So it has index cards and all this other stuff. And I got really excited because I also found these multicolor polyvinyl dividers for it, which I was like, wow, this is great. That's great. But when it came down to it, and I had some technical issues with the laptop, just, you know, things, because I had examples of AI I was going to show, and from when I worked, and there was a point where everything seemed like it was going to crash. Like just my presentation, everything. Quite frankly, when I got there, you know, I was a little early, and I was secretly hoping that, this is weird, right? You ever have that duality where on one side you're like, hope nobody shows up so I don't have to speak? And then there was the other side of me, the showman side of me that was like, man, I hope people show up. So, people did. Small group, but a very engaged group. Every single person got a moment to ask questions about AI, to ask me questions about things, and I never even looked at my notes. I relied on what I knew. I relied on the history of what I've gone through, what I've enjoyed. I relied on a friendship that I had with my buddy Rocky, who works for Adobe. And I was able to speak from that aspect, from firsthand knowledge, from anecdotal stuff that's out there, to my love of history, where AI and the concept of and automation coming together and artificial intelligence, how it played into things like the fall of the House of Usher 2 by Ray Bradbury. All of these things wrapped together and came forward out of, I don't even really know where it came out of. I'm so grateful that the people that were there were engaged and really happy. I was able to talk about the lawsuit that Carla Ortiz and 2 of her colleagues have brought forward. I was able to talk about a lot more things. Some of it which I covered in case you guys are wondering what I was talking about with Adobe, They have a beta, a web version, and then the actual download that you can look at called Firefly. And it's also integrated into Photoshop. I need to get back and do that. I did a review of it, a 1-hour review that people from Adobe ended up seeing, which I was like blown away by, and I'm really glad they thought it was fairly entertaining and funny in some parts. So that was great. But it was crazy how well this went, and I think none of us really ended up leaving until they had to lock up the center, which was almost 8:30 or so, and it started at 6:30, so it went well past an hour and a half. And I felt like myself. It felt like, I'm gonna be honest, aside from doing things like, you know, shows and things, I haven't actually been on a stage like that in quite a while. And boy, that feeling, getting up on the stage, if somebody had handed me a mic, it would have been open mic night, you know, it would have been great. But it fired up my bravery, allowed me to think and want to do some other stuff. And I started stretching my proverbial arms out, and my real ones too, and thinking about what else I could do. It was a really important moment for me. It was a wonderful day. And now I've got some new prospects on the horizon, and I'm going to be a little more honest with myself about what my expectations are this year and how I want to proceed. It's always good to find some aspect of discovery that brings you down these paths. And I was glad that I was able to find that for myself. It really woke me up as far as how I want to look at things in my life. I've been talking about that. It's a constant theme in so much of what I talk about on here. And I'm glad that I have cats that are fighting. Why would you do that? Oh my God, are you okay? Mrs. Ma'am, what happened? So that was Luna and Radar. They have food they really love, and they got into a fight. But sometimes they just get in each other's ways. I'm not even sure what happened or why. But they're both okay. They're just my older cats, and they just get into each other's ways sometimes. So actually what it is, I won't show you a shot of it because I made a mess of the whole place, but basically there's 2 bowls, and I'm pretty sure cats don't see the same color spectrum that I do, but I swear these 2 do. One knows that one gray bowl is his, and the other one is Luna's. That's hers. It's white like she is primarily. There are some days where they just specifically want certain bowls, and when I put them down, they get into fights over things. I don't know why. They're fine. It sounded really kind of crazy and nuts, but they're fine. Now they're just standing around looking like, well, what happened? Who made that noise? Well, I guess with that, I'm going to go check to see and make sure that they're really okay. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. But thanks for watching, guys. And also, I am extremely excited that my viewer count is going up. And it's quality ones, which I'm really happy about. So many of you that have decided to follow on here are starting to comment, starting to reach out. Thank you. Sincerely. That's really the best fucking feeling in the world. And I feel like, you know, this isn't going to be hard. So my goal before the end of the year, I'm not going to talk about it too much because I don't want to ruin it, but I'm going to. I'm going to talk about it, not ruin it. I want to make 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. At least, right? Maybe that much. And I had to take a step back. I'll end saying this. I had to take a step back on what my expectations were and what I was capable of doing. Because there's so much that I am beginning to realize I've done out of step, I'm not doing correctly, and I really want to do much better at. So with that, hope you guys have a good week. And I will have this next update on Monday as well too. I'm going to stick to doing Mondays and things. There are some other videos I've got coming up reviewing some books and things that I have. I am definitely going to talk about Crash Landing Party. I was very excited about that. I read it. Very funny book, very well done. And I'll kind of show you guys the preview of the pages and things. And yeah, it's phenomenal book, really good. And the best part about being in a good mood like this, for me anyway, is that sometimes let me know if you guys think this way. Is it not crazy that when we're stressed out, things can sound or seem really hard to deal with? And then the moment you let a little bit of happiness creep in, you know, where it's supposed to be, all of a sudden things don't seem as dire as they were maybe even 30 minutes ago or yesterday or whatever. And I got to remember to stay in that zone. I have to remember to do that. It'll just be better for me overall. Thanks for watching, guys. I sincerely appreciate it. In case this was the very first time watching this video, I am Mario. I go by the Artisan Rogue. I have a couple of shows coming up this year, but if you want to find out more, click on the links down below. There's a whole bunch of information down below. Every single video I upload has all kinds of fun links and stuff leading to different places. Sometimes it has historical stuff. Sometimes it just has other weird, descriptions and things. But I've always got stuff hidden all over the place for different sorts of things. Please check out my web store down below. I've got art on there. I will be having some new shows starting up. One I am looking forward to massively is the band Galactic Empire is coming and playing at the Granada, and I am one of the artists that is going to be there. If you follow me, I am on all kinds of social media, and all those links are down below. Thanks again, guys, and I will catch you in my next journal entry.